Obviously, no introductions needed, but Jacques Villeneuve, again, welcome to the Canadian Motorsports Expo, and thank you for your time here with this session with the media. We're just going to open it right up to you guys so you can get as much time as possible.
So, Jacques, what are the plans for 2009?
Well, the plans right now, I'm doing the Speed Car Series in the Middle East. That's for the winter, and still working on the budgets for NASCAR. It's tough going. There's still a bunch of teams that aren't fully budgeted, and so there's some opportunities. Hopefully, something will happen.
Jacques, I know you had a relationship of sorts with PDR last year. Have you talked to Gaunt since he's taken over that operation?
No idea what's happened over there. I've been busy just working on my programs, and there's talks to go race in Australia as well, but that's far. So it's not an easy decision to make to move your whole family that far.
When you talked about your family, you're now situated in Montreal. Has that made it easier or more difficult to arrange these deals that you have in the kennel?
I think it makes it a little bit more difficult, as NASCAR is mainly U.S. based. So and also with the traveling, you always have to cross the border every time, and that creates a few problems. But life is good up there.
So your situation with the series in Dubai, can you talk a little bit about those cars and how they compare, say, to the sedans that raced in NASCAR?
I guess they were built a little bit similar to the nationwide cars. They're lighter. They're made mainly for road courses, so they're a little bit different, but basically it's the same base.
So how you talk about the nationwide series? Are you in talks with anybody in that series right now? Or?
Well, right now what's needed is budget. That's what everybody needs. There isn't a vacant seat budgeted waiting for drivers right now, so everybody just needs to bring budgets. That's where it starts. There's no point talking to a team until you have the budget.
Jacques, are you all done with open wheel? I mean, you did what you needed to do in Champ Car, IndyCar, winning the 500 and the championship, and then an F1 title. And now that the North American IndyCar picture is a little more clear with the reunification of the series, are you all done with that? Or in the back of your mind, is there still a little thing that says, hey, you know what, that might not be a bad thing to reinvestigate?
You know, I'm a racer. I love racing, so you have to look at every opportunity that's available, and then you decide if you'll be enjoying it or not, and if it's worthwhile doing. The IndyCar getting back together, I think, was important. Now it'll take more than a year to heal.
You talk about budgets. I know the economy being what it is. It's a tough road. Are there any Canadian opportunities that you look at now and say maybe there's room for a driver of your stature to get some Canadian backing?
Well, I always thought that there was room for Canadian backing. Mostly that NASCAR is well followed in Canada. The TV numbers are actually better than F1, so there is definitely room for sponsors to get good promotion out of sponsoring NASCAR.
Do you have a message for Canadian corporations who maybe should be involved?
Well, no, I didn't prepare a straight message like that. You know, every company has a different need, basically. So, but there's definitely an easy way to promote it and to get something good out of it. So it's definitely worthwhile. It's just difficult to explain, and I think the key is to get going. Once you get going, and the media coverage is apparent, and the TV numbers and so on, then it would become easier. But you need that first step.
Jacques, you're a champion in a number of different series. You won the Indy 500, F1. You're having difficulties finding sponsors. That was true last time you tried the NASCAR route. What about young drivers? What kind of advice would you have for them? They're out there looking, and they don't have your name or your background.
Well, if they're ready to suffer, and seriously, and with the chance that at 35 they'll have nothing, then go for it and live your dream. But the chances of succeeding and actually ending up with enough money to have a proper life are very, very slim. And you have to so you have to do it purely because you love the driving and you're willing to sacrifice everything you have and you might have for it.
A little bit away from the racetrack, you had your musical release, and then there's your restaurant in Newtown in Montreal. Tell us how both of those endeavors are going. Is there another release musically from you, Jacques, somewhere?
Well, my career is racing. My racing allowed me to do all these other things like the restaurant and the music. So I don't see anything happening until the racing gets going.
Yes, you've tried all sorts of motorsports. Have you ever considered going onto the dirt tracks just for a bit of fun? Like you've got plenty of dirt tracks in Montreal.
Well, for F1 to NASCAR was already a huge step. So going to dirt, that's a big step. But
World of Outlaws or something like that. You know, that's what I was thinking of.
I would consider it.
I just wondered if it's ever crossed your mind.
No. I just never thought about looking at it. That's all. But I've seen some races and it looks extremely exciting. But it looks like the kind of thing you have to grow up in.
It's not something you'd ever want to do. No.
Oh, for fun, yes, definitely. But as a career, I think you have to grow up in it.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Jacques, you had to be saddened by the loss of the Canadian Grand Prix in Montreal on the track named after your dad. That's something that we'd not like to see at all. I know you probably got some thoughts on that.
Oh, it was very sad because it was one of the most popular races of the whole season on the international crowd anyway, for the drivers, for even for the fans. It was always a great venue, exciting, fun. Even the whole weekend in town was fun. And for Montreal, it's a terrible loss of business.
More questions?
Any plans to drive the Peugeot this year?
Not right now. I've done it the last 2 years, and every time it took away on the plans and works we were doing for NASCAR. So I'd like to concentrate on that fully this year and see if we can get something going.
This Patrick Carpenter's experience last year, is that something that sort of makes you hesitate a little bit? He did pretty well and was improving all year, but still.
Well, no, there's no reason for it to make me hesitate. But if anything, it damages the search for sponsorship.
Jacques, with Lewis Hamilton coming on board, has that changed the face of F1 as far as bringing in new fans, younger fans? Has
No idea. Obviously, he's an effect on who watches F1. But there's always been an evolution like that through the years. There's always been the new young driver that will win the championship. But in all my career, I've heard 20 of them that were the next world champions, and out of those 20, only one did it. So we just always have to stay calm when that happens. The next young driver is not necessarily the new champ.
What do you think of the changes in Formula
I think the cars look very ugly, and frankly, I'm not sure how. The way the world is going now, and times are tough, and F1 had been regularly losing fans. I don't see how that's going to help.
But I guess do they need to sort of push the environmental side? There's been a lot of criticism of auto racing as being a dirty sport.
Well, I think it's become very modern to push the environmental side, and it is important. But at the same time, you cannot stop living. There's a lot of things. Well, everything we do, we spend energy, and that's just the way it is. Now, if you can find a way to make it better every day, then that's good. I think it's important, but at the same time, it shouldn't stop you from living.
Do you think the changes will change anything on the grids this year? The same cars that are in front last year are going to be in front this year?
Well, the good guys with the big budget and the knowledge will still be in the front. And everybody is always saying, we should make it easier for the small teams to be at the front. Well, that's unfair. The big teams should be at the front. That's just, the stronger should be in the front, and that's it. So I don't see any point in making any rule that would just help the small guys.
All right. Great. No other questions?
I have one more. Every time when we come to the Jacques, they're always serious questions. What's the most fun that you had in your Formula One career? What's the one thing maybe you look back on and said, man, that was fun?
Probably overtaking Michael on the outside in Estoril. That was the most fun.
You still think about that?
Yeah, there's a few moments like that in your life that you remember that were extreme because you had discussed them with other people before, and it became either a challenge or a joke. And when you achieve it, it becomes very special. It's not always very useful. It's mostly pride and ego and stuff like that, but it's fun.
What's the funniest thing that you remember about your Formula One career?
I think in '97 there was a race in Hungary. '97 I had spent a lot of time with Coulthard, and that means we were partying a lot. And we had a stupid week and all the way to Wednesday. So we got to Hungary, and it was the hottest race of the year, and we were tired. And I was leading, and he was behind me. And he was hoping I would slow down so he could slow down as well through the whole race. And I was thinking the same thing. So that was when we discussed that afterward. That was funny. And after that, we decided, okay, time to stop partying now.
Thank you.
Was there a favourite or least favourite track on the Formula One circuits that you say, well, that was the one I liked, and that's the one I can really hate?
Yeah, there's tracks you dislike, but normally those are the tracks you're slow on. As soon as you're quick on the track, suddenly you enjoy it because the track is easy, natural for you to drive. But there's tracks that are always special. Spa, Suzuka, Monaco is very special. Montreal was fun to race on once the race started. But the two tracks in Germany were not enjoyable, or Manicourt, and there's a few. Most of the modern tracks are not very enjoyable.
Silverstone?
I wasn't a big fan. There were some very good corners, but I'm not a big fan of the whole layout.
Thank you.
Great. Wonderful. On behalf of everybody who wants to be in, Jacques, thank you for your time here today.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jacques.
Sure. Thank you all for coming as well. Appreciate that very much. Jacques will be back doing a public press conference on stage at 2 o'clock from 2 to 2:30. So if you want to be there for that as well, you're more than welcome.